Britain once ruled the road, but in less than 20 years, its truck giants vanished. ERF, Foden, Seddon Atkinson, Scammell, names that once thundered across every motorway, gone without a trace. The factories went silent, the badges disappeared, and the roar of British engines faded into memory. But what exactly destroyed an industry that once carried a nation? The answer changed trucking forever. Bedford Motors, a subsidiary of Vauxhall Motors and ultimately General Motors, produced the Bedford TK from 1960 to 1986. The TK became one of Britain's most common medium-duty trucks. Hundreds of thousands of TK models rolled off assembly lines at the Dunstable plant in Bedfordshire over 26 years. The truck served in virtually every capacity, from delivery van, from mobile library to military transport. The cab-over-engine configuration provided excellent visibility and manoeuvrability in tight urban spaces. Payload capacity ranged from 3 to 7 tons depending on configuration. Bedford offered the TK with various wheelbases and body types. Local councils, delivery firms, construction companies and independent operators all relied on TK fleets. Power came from Bedford's own petrol and diesel engines. The most common diesel was the Bedford 330 cubic inch unit, producing around 98 horsepower. Later models received the Bedford 466 diesel with 127 horsepower. These engines weren't sophisticated or fuel efficient by modern standards, but they were simple to maintain and repair. ERF began in 1933 when Edwin Richard Foden left the family company and established his own truck manufacturer in Sandbach, Cheshire. For 50 years, ERF built a reputation for producing quality heavy-duty trucks. The company specialised in 8-wheel rigid trucks and tractor units for long-haul operations. The 1980s represented ERF's peak years before eventual decline. The company introduced several successful models, including the ERF B series and the iconic ERF E series. These trucks featured square-rigged styling, powerful Cummins diesel engines and spacious cabs that drivers appreciated for long-distance work. ERF engines came primarily from Cummins, the American engine manufacturer. The Cummins 10.9-litre L10 and NTC diesel engines were standard fitments, producing between 250 and 400 horsepower depending on specification. These engines delivered strong pulling power and reasonable fuel economy. Cummins had a reputation for longevity, with properly maintained engines regularly exceeding 500,000 miles before major overhaul. The company employed approximately 2,500 workers at its Sandbach facility during the mid-1980s. Annual production reached around 2,000 trucks. ERF occupied a respected niche in British haulage. Leyland Motors began in 1896 and grew into Britain's dominant commercial vehicle manufacturer by the mid-20th century. The company supplied military vehicles during both World Wars and dominated Commonwealth markets. In 1968, Leyland merged with British Motor Holdings to form British Leyland Motor Corporation, Britain's largest automotive manufacturer, employing over 170,000 workers. The 1980s were turbulent years for Leyland Trucks. Following British Leyland's nationalisation in 1975, the government invested billions attempting to save the corporation. Leyland introduced the T45 road train in 1980, a modern heavy-duty truck that won European Truck of the Year in 1981. The road train featured a tilting cab, aerodynamic styling, and powerful Cummins diesel engines producing up to 320 horsepower. Despite technical merits, Leyland struggled to overcome negative perceptions from British Leyland's passenger car disasters. Fleet managers associated the Leyland name with strikes and quality problems. market share declined throughout the decade. Seddon Atkinson was formed in 1970 through the merger of Seddon diesel vehicles and British truck manufacturers. Based in Oldham, Lancashire, the company specialised in heavy-duty trucks for construction, quarrying and long-haul transport. Its rugged, affordable vehicles became popular with independent owner-operators. At its peak in the early 1980s, Seddon Atkinson employed around 1,500 workers and produced a similar number of trucks each year, mostly powered by Cummins or Gardner diesel engines. Scammell lorries, founded in 1921 in Watford, Hertfordshire, gained fame for building some of the toughest trucks in Britain. The company specialised in heavy-duty and military vehicles, including recovery trucks, tank transporters and heavy-haul tractors. The Scammell Commander, introduced in 1983, served the British Army as a 6x6 recovery vehicle capable of towing battle-damaged tanks through rough terrain. The Constructor was another standout, used for transporting oversized loads, while the Crusader tractor unit served long-haul operators with Rolls-Royce or Cummins engines. AEC, Associated Equipment Company, founded in 1912, became one of Britain's most respected makers of buses and heavy trucks. Its Southall factory in West London produced thousands of vehicles, including London's famous double-decker buses. AEC was an early innovator in diesel technology, with its AV 760 engine earning a reputation for reliability. After merging with Leyland Motors in 1962, AEC was absorbed into British Leyland in 1968. The Mandator tractor and Marshall rigid truck continued into the late 1970s, but declining sales led to the discontinuation of truck production in 1979. Albion Motors began in Glasgow, Scotland in 1899, making it one of Britain's oldest vehicle manufacturers. The company built cars initially, but switched focus to commercial vehicles in the 1910s. For over 6 decades, Albion represented Scottish engineering pride. The company's motto, "Sure as the sunrise," reflected confidence in product quality and reliability. Albion specialised in medium and light-duty trucks and buses. Scottish operators particularly favoured Albion vehicles, which were well suited to Scotland's challenging terrain and weather conditions. The company supplied many municipal bus fleets throughout Scotland and northern England. Albion's distinctive badge, a rampant dog, became familiar across Britain. Leyland Motors acquired Albion in 1951, integrating it into the Leyland Group. Albion continued operating semi-independently for years, producing vehicles in Glasgow even after the acquisition. The Albion River, a medium-duty truck introduced in 1958, remained in production into the 1970s. The River was popular with Scottish hauliers for its rugged construction and reliability. By the 1970s, British Leyland rationalised its commercial vehicle operations. The company decided maintaining multiple truck brands made little business sense. Production was concentrated at fewer facilities to improve efficiency and reduce costs. Guy Motors began in Wolverhampton in 1914, founded by Sidney Guy after he left Sunbeam Motor Car Company. The company initially built trucks and buses, establishing reputation for quality and innovation. Guy became particularly known for producing fire engines, supplying fire brigades across Britain for decades. The company's Indian head mascot became instantly recognisable. Guy specialised in heavy-duty trucks for demanding applications. The company built 8-wheel rigids for construction and quarrying, tractor units for long-haul operations, and specialised vehicles for municipal services. Guy vehicles were engineered to last, often remaining in service for 20 years or more. Operators valued this longevity, though initial purchase prices were higher than some competitors. The company faced financial difficulties in the 1950s. Jaguar Cars acquired Guy in 1961, bringing much needed investment and stability. However, when Jaguar merged into British Motor Holdings in 1966, Guy became part of the complex structure that eventually formed British Leyland. The Guy brand continued for several years within the Leyland Empire. Guy's best-known model, the Guy Big J, launched in 1964 and remained in production until 1977. The Big J featured distinctive styling and was available with various engine options including Gardner, Cummins and Rolls-Royce diesels. Maximum gross weight could reach 32 tonnes, making it suitable for heavy haulage operations. The Big J's tall cab and prominent grille made it unmistakable on British roads. In 1977, Guy production ceased as British Leyland continued rationalising its truck operations. The Wolverhampton factory closed, ending over 60 years of Guy manufacturing. The Indian head mascot, once proudly displayed on thousands of trucks and fire engines, became a memory. Guy Motors joined the growing list of disappeared British truck makers, another victim of industrial consolidation and financial pressure. Commer began in 1905 as Commercial Cars Limited, quickly shortening to Commer. Based in Luton, Bedfordshire, the company specialised in light and medium commercial vehicles. Commer vans and trucks became ubiquitous across Britain, serving as delivery vehicles, mobile shops and utility trucks for countless businesses. The company's walking man logo appeared on vehicles from Scotland to Cornwall. Commer gained particular fame for innovation in engine technology. The company developed the Commer TS3 two-stroke diesel engine in the 1950s. This unusual three-cylinder engine featured horizontally opposed pistons and produced impressive power for its displacement. The TS3 powered Commer trucks throughout the 1950s and 1960s, earning reputation for strong performance, though maintenance could be complex. The Rootes Group acquired Commer in 1926, bringing the company under the same ownership as Hillman, Humber and Sunbeam passenger car brands. Commer benefited from Rootes Group resources and distribution networks. Production volumes increased substantially during the post-war years as British businesses rebuilt and expanded. Chrysler UK purchased the Rootes Group in 1967, making Commer part of an American automotive empire. Chrysler initially maintained Commer as a distinct brand, continuing production of vans and light trucks. However, Chrysler faced its own financial difficulties during the 1970s. The company decided to rationalise its British operations, discontinuing marginal brands and consolidating production. In 1976, Commer production ceased. The brand was absorbed into Dodge, another commercial vehicle name within the Chrysler stable. Existing Commer vehicles continued operating for years, but no new models appeared. The walking man logo disappeared from British roads. By the 1980s, even the Dodge brand had largely vanished from British commercial vehicle markets. Commer became another footnote in British automotive history, remembered by older drivers but unknown to younger generations. Foden Trucks traced its history to 1856, when Edwin Foden established an engineering company in Sandbach, Cheshire. The company began building steam wagons in the 1880s and transitioned to diesel trucks in the 1930s. For over a century, Foden represented British heavy engineering at its finest. Foden trucks worked in quarries, construction sites and long-haul operations across Britain and export markets. The 1980s saw Foden produce some of its most memorable models. The Foden Alpha 3000 series, introduced in 1981, featured modern cab design and powerful engine options. Foden trucks could be specified with Gardner, Cummins or Rolls-Royce diesel engines. The company particularly valued its relationship with Gardner Engines, another British manufacturer based in Manchester. Gardner engines powered countless Foden trucks throughout the company's history. The Gardner 6 LXB and 8 LXB diesel engines were legendary for reliability and longevity. These engines produced modest horsepower. The 6 LXB generated around 180 horsepower, while the 8 LXB made approximately 240 horsepower, but they were nearly indestructible when properly maintained. Financial pressures mounted throughout the 1980s. In 1980, Foden was purchased by Packer, which also owned Kenworth and Peterbilt. Packer initially maintained Foden as a separate brand, but by 2006, Foden production ceased entirely. Another British lorry legend disappeared.